soon after the match was abandoned, and Craig McMillan was the choice of Ian Botham as the man of the match. Good evening to you from the Oval for our programme today at the Test. The highlights of the first day of this final Cornhill Test match of the summer between England and New Zealand. Nasser Hussain is back and fit again and will lead England in this match. He's made a lot of changes. He's had a very strong influence on this side. One of the chosen men, Ronnie Irani, is with me and my guest in the studio this evening. We'll be having a chat with him later. New Zealand have played the better cricket in the series so far. They are confident despite a bad defeat against Essex just the other day. Stephen Fleming reckons that they deserve victory and they are out to get it here at the Oval. The two captains were in the middle for the toss this morning. It was Nasser Hussain who threw the coin in the air. Stephen Fleming got it wrong. Hussain won the toss and he chose to bowl first, which was an interesting move on a morning with some damp about. He reckoned the moisture in the pitch would assist his bowling attack. Darren Maddy gets a first cap. That is a very, very exciting moment for him. Hussain is back there. Alex Stewart will bat at 5, Ramprakash at 6. Ronnie Irani in the side after the test matches that he played against India in 1996. Caddick, Mullally and Phil Tufnell make up the bowlers, along with the other debutant, Ed Giddings, whose career with Sussex and Warwickshire has prompted this promotion. There are the New Zealanders with the Bell and Horn opening, Fleming, Astell, Twos, McMillan, that strong middle order, Perori the keeper. Chris Cairns is fit. Dion Nash will play as the other new ball bowler, along with Shane O'Connor, who comes in for Jeff Allott. We're going to pick up play right at the start of proceedings. It's the first ball of the match. Andrew Caddick is bowling to Matt Horn, and it's Ian Smith and Richie Benno commentating.
And that is close to perfect. Perfection would only have come if it had found the outside edge, but it was a very good delivery.
Can't remember Andy Caddick bowling too many bad balls this year, that is for sure. Right on the spot.
Missed the stumps. It needed a direct hit, I'd reckon.
The nearest thing you'll ever see to cricketing suicide. You cannot get run out in a test match, especially in the second over, looking to get off the mark. A good throw, he was gone. Andy Caddick might be getting bored already. He's bowled 9 deliveries, and 7 of them have been that good.
Done it again. And I reckon that was gone as well. If Matthew Bell's off the mark, that'll be a great relief to most New Zealanders around the ground, particularly Matthew Horn.
Well, there's some good cricket and some very average cricket going on out in the middle. The running is abysmal. This time it's a coconut shy really, as a crack at the other end. Missed Bell, missed Horn, he was gone by a metre.
Oh! Be height, I imagine.
Well, all I can think is Matthew Bell hasn't woken up yet. How can you leave that line?
The thing a bowler's got to do now is avoid getting frustrated. If he starts thinking the world's against him, then he'll start to bowl poorly. He has silly point, short leg, no mid-on, but he's got a forward square. And almost a wicket.
All about that man and close on the offside. He's fairly and squarely. Nasser Hussain staring Matthew Horn in the face. He wants him out of there, and this is how he tries to get rid of him. Beautifully bowled, good cricket all round from England, apart from the nick. Catch him! Well, he's a pretty brave soldier, Matthew Horn. Like most opening batsmen, they don't like to show too much pain. But this one's got him. Point of the elbow once again.
Here's Andy Caddick. Catch a ball, but got to go pretty much to hand in that position. Very, very sharp.
It is a very difficult position to field. It takes a lot of skill. It takes very sharp natural reactions. He's been taken out of that position now. Caddick to Horn. And instead he's been put in there. Here's Ed Giddings into the attack. And he begins his Test match career with a huge wide and a smile on his face as well. Out. Few days. A, they haven't been able to cut it very low, and B, it's quite soft by oval standards. An astounding leave, so much so that we'll give the credit to the bowler there. I think Horn made a mistake. I think he's got away with it because of the bounce here at the oval.
That's a beauty. Still, if anything, a wee bit too short, but the shape of that delivery is exactly what Giddens is looking for.
It's too good for Matthew Horn. This was at least missed his bat by feet.
Wow. I think it's beautifully bowled because I think he held back a bit there, Giddens, and this one did not bounce. Over the top, and that'll race down to third man. First boundary of the New Zealand innings. They're 16 without loss. It's a good shot, and this may well be the second boundary of the day. There's a good chase down there. Good work. Excellent work from the outfielders in the England camp. Just see where the point of impact is, where the foot on the rope and then the ball on the hand. Well, I'd say it's very hard to say, but umpire Venkataragavan says that's 4. Good shot. It was a full toss and it deserved the treatment. And this one may not go to the boundary. There's a bit of running to be done here. On that occasion looked as if he was trying to get the arm ball out of the closet. Once again in the air. It's too much width. Very slow outfield. It's got to be said, so much rain around the London area yesterday in particular. Heavy thunderstorms. There's not a lot of run in the outfield. Well, that's uncanny stuff. Stewart was so confident that Horn had got a touch on this. Irani went a long way down towards the batsman and nothing happened. Once again, very wide. This time off the front foot. Won't go for 4 either.
Take him off! Oh.
And 3 comfortable runs.
Well, that's not much of a ball. A half volley, or just about a half volley, on or fractionally outside leg stump is just asking for what it got.
It seems as though Andy Caddick's come on with a plan to Matthew Bell, and I think he's planning on testing him out with the odd short one at his throat and mixing it up with good deliveries around a line of length. That was the one that's going to nip back at the batsman.
Got it. That's good catch. The still photographs of that will probably show it to be an ordinary sort of catch, but oh, it did take some judgment.
Well, the breeze in the end's helped because it's held the ball up. I thought for a minute Matthew Horner got enough of a bat on that to clear Andy Caddick. The breeze held the ball up, he ran round, eyes on the ball, and that's the first wicket gone. Matthew Horner out for 15, New Zealand 39 for 1.
Stephen Fleming is the new batsman.
Andy Caddick's having a very good series for England, not only with the ball but also with the bat and in the field.
That's really well bowled and defeated the batsman. He was expecting it to go away from him again. He must have missed by a whisker. That one was meant to be short.
Well, it's not the quickest ball that Andy Caddick's bowled this morning. But just look at the bounce he gets. Whacks it into the turf.
That was a fine performance through the morning by Andrew Caddick. 5 more runs were added to take us up until lunch. 45 for 1 the score at lunch. Bell unbeaten with 23, but not without some fortune, and Stephen Fleming had 3 to his name. Caddick 10 overs, 6 maidens, no wickets, and he was the star of the show. 1 wicket there for Ronnie Irani, and a big hug from Captain Nasser Hussain. I think Hussein's had a fair bit to do with Irani getting back into the side. Right, we'll take a short break now. The morning session of play. New Zealand 45 for 1 at lunch. We're going to pick up play straight after lunch. No runs have been added. Matthew Bell is on strike to Alan Mullally. Dermot Reeve and Wasim Akram are commentating.
Oh, that's a good ball, and that's an appeal. He's given him. Alan Mullally's broken through. Matthew Bell, who played so well before lunch, has gone in the second over after the break. Alan Mullally delighted with that wicket.
This is the perfect length to bowl at. Went good catch in the end by Alex Stewart. Perfect left-arm bowling by Alan Mullally. Successful in the end.
Matthew Bell's gone for 23. New Zealand lose their second wicket for 45. Nathan Astle, the new batsman for New Zealand. Centurion up at Old Trafford. Super delivery from Caddick. It's the one that nips away from the left-hander.
You can see this ball crossed the seam, and this went cross to a left-hander. This is a perfect delivery for a left-hander.
Oh, that's another beauty. Oh, great way to end the over. That's another maiden to Andy Caddick. He's now got through 12 overs for only 4 runs. Well, there's plenty of movement out there, and plenty of movement from the England wicketkeeper Alex Stewart. That's an excellent take.
Beautifully bowled. Unlucky. We can't do anything about it.
And that edge, the third man's brought up the New Zealand 50. Yeah, lost it for a minute, Nathan Astle. He was looking to see if it had deflected onto his stumps, and in the end he found it in the flap of his pad. And a big shout, he's gone. George Sharp raises his finger. Andy Caddick really has deserved that wicket. Nathan Astle just playing away from his body slightly.
That's where he needed luck. This was a perfect outswing, a perfect ball, and was having a go at it. And it flew to Alex Stewart. Nathan Lashley goes for 9, New Zealand are 54 for 3.
Yeah, Roger Toozes, the new batsman, finds himself coming in a little bit sooner than he would have hoped.
Close. It's a very good shout. Wow. In swinger to Fleming. Did it hit him between wicket and wicket? Would it have gone on to hit the stumps? And now he gets a pretty undeserved boundary. Very good bowling from Caddick, the inner, and then the one that bounces on across him. Bowled again. Good stuff from Caddick. Late swing. It's what all the bowlers search for, to get that ball to duck in as late as it can. That was a beauty. Wonderful stuff. Darren Maddy has announced himself into Test match cricket with a brilliant catch, and Ed Giddings has announced himself into Test match cricket with his first wicket.
Genuine nick from Toos. He was a little bit stationary. He fetched it and it flew high. Boy, what an acrobatic catch that is. Absolutely outstanding. Toos goes at 62 for 4.
Craig McMillan, the new batsman for New Zealand, made 100 at Old Trafford.
Fitness has good control of both directions of swing. With the left-hander in, he's been able to bowl his away swinger to him, and then he concentrates on what you might term his normal away swinger to the right-hander. Needs some sort of a recovery at the moment.
Yep.
Neat stroke. He picked the swing late, and he actually guided it down into that gap between the slip and the gully. It was good play. Really well bowled. The batsman would prefer to allow that to pass through to the keeper, but he simply had to play at it. That's a cracking stroke. Even the slow outfield is not going to pull that up. We'll just have to have them run 4, I guess, if they're quick enough. Good strike. Almost looked as though he's going to play it defensively for a start, and then went through with the stroke. Fine shot. That's very well bowled. That did Fleming, I suspect, in the air and off the seam. Yeah! That's beautifully flighted. Did him in the flight, there's no doubt about that. He drew McMillan forward, and suddenly McMillan realised it was the slower and slightly higher toss delivery, and was going for the big one.
Far too early in a spell to be doing this. But he does feel in form, Craig McMillan, and he's paid the price, and doesn't that man love it? Philip Tufnell. New Zealand now in a bit of trouble at 87 for 5.
Adam Perore comes out at 87 for 5. Beautifully done. Now you've had 2 examples of splendid spin bowling here. You've had McMillan dismissed with flight, and then the top spinner, where the batsman has played very tentatively for the spin. The ball has gone straight on, off the edge, and to short leg. Good catch.
Lazy shot from Perore. But a magnificent catch from Mark Ramprakash. And we really have seen 2 or 3 spectacular catches today. 87 for 6 now, New Zealand.
Chris Cairns is the new batsman, coming in at 87 for 6.
Go!
And no ball and 4. That's as good a way as any to get off 87.
Nicely placed. That's clever batting from Cairns. Ball was wide enough for him just to wait a bit and then pick that space to the left hand of the short extra cover. That brings up to the 100 for New Zealand. That's a cracker. Oh, yeah. A very relieved man, Stephen Fleming.
Caddick directing this delivery spot on, swinging back into Fleming's middle stump. Just managed to get his front pad out of the way and get his bat down.
And Caddick finished the afternoon session much as he finished the morning session, bowling superbly well for England. 1 run was added to take us into the tea break. 103 for 6 with the Fleming unbeaten on 18. What a struggle it was for the New Zealand captain out there, but he was hanging on for dear life there as New Zealand tried to stay alive in the series. Cairns, a dangerous man, unbeaten with 11. Caddick now were 1 for 16 from 19. Mullally 1 for 12 from 15, a wicket for Giddings, good one to get on Test match debut. 2 for Philip Tufnell. He changed things in the middle of the day there, and that wicket that was picked up in the morning by Ronnie Irani. Time for us to take another break. When we come back, it'll be the final session of play. The pole position here. Let's get straight back into the action. We'll pick it up with Alan Mullally, the bowler, Stephen Fleming, New Zealand's captain, the batsman, and James Whittaker and Ian Smith commentating.
Shy at the stance, a direct hit. Our umpire Venkat goes upstairs for this. It's a leg by. So 2 things to note there. My initial reaction is that Fleming is quite comfortably home, and I would also suggest the English fieldsmen think along those lines.
All the run-outs. Decisions have come off Alan Mullally's bowling, and he's a long way in.
Hold him. Cairns plays all around that one, trying to hit it far too square. The half volley should have gone somewhere else than here.
Straight through the gate. Cairns has played all around that one. And although the scene was pretty straight on that occasion, it's left New Zealand in dire trouble at 104 for 7.
Nash is a fighter. He's going to have to be.
Good afternoon, Dion Nash. This is Andrew Caddick. Squared him up on several occasions so far, but there he really was in a square position.
Good shot. Nicely timed. And a much needed boundary for the New Zealand cause. beautifully bowled. Magnificent shape on that delivery.
Example of the ball being pitched of a full length, allowing it to seam and swing late.
Outside edge has been profitable throughout the series by 4 more. 115 to 7. It's gone past Alex Stewart. 4 bonuses.
Beauty.
That's why I was saying earlier that he looks impressive to me. I haven't seen too many bowlers of this particular type around. The fellow he reminds me of a little bit is Terry Alderman. Must have been just outside the line, off stump.
Definite turn back from Phil Tufnell, but I think that's an excellent decision. Inside edge onto the pad.
Beautiful stroke. He plays that on drive very well. Sometimes it only goes a yard or so wide of the bowler. Well, the idea was okay. It was slightly round arm delivery and to skid back at the right-hander. And unfortunately just angled it down the leg side. Once again, that forcing stroke straight down the ground for Stephen Fleming.
I haven't seen too many bounces today. This one really nipped in at Dion Nash. Look where this pitch is, outside off, really jags back in and follows the batsman. And a very athletic leave.
It's 4, but it isn't where it was intended from Fleming. Lovely stroke. Not hit with any great power, placed incidentally between a great many pigeons. That's a good effort from Dion Nash and from Stephen Fleming in particular, the 50 partnership. And was it desperately needed, or what? 104 when the 7th wicket fell.
Now the new ball has been taken.
Bit of extra hardness in the ball there.
One of the first times today that Stephen Fleming has lost all his poise. He's battled very hard for a long time. He's been a good example for those that haven't.
Andrew Caddick did that, I reckon, 25 times this morning. Went past the outside edge of the right-hander's bat.
What a beauty. Dion Nash is he's an interesting character. He's not what you call a scoreboard player. In other words, he's not that worried about seeing the runs tick over against his name. Been on 18 for 45 minutes now, and during that 45 minutes, he's been supporting his captain.
And beautifully bowled. Waited on him and gave him the short one. He'd given it to Fleming the over before and discomforted him. And that one has got Dion Nash onto the back foot and had him just pushing away.
Yes, more in protection than anything else from Dion Nash's point of view. Very comfortable catch to Mark Ramprakash. Boy, has Andrew Caddick deserved this second success, that is for sure. It's more of a fend than a cricket shot as such. More of a, I'll hit it before it gets a bit of me. Nash goes for 18, it's 157 for 8.
Motion for Daniel Vettori comes up from number 11. Straight past the man at point.
The ball was never going to get to the rope, and that's a good bit of fielding.
He'll take 2 if he wants. Will do, but he won't get 3. Half century and a very good one for Stephen Fleming. It's a good shot and brilliantly fielded. It wasn't all that bad a ball. Ronnie Irani was the man who dived away to his left and saved a 4. Last ball coming up unless it's a no ball or wide. It'll still be the last ball even though it's a 4. Vettori doesn't muck around. What else would you expect from a number 10 to smash the last ball of the day past point for 4?
Well, he is a handy player, Daniel Vettori, and England will be aware of that. They'll want him or Fleming out very quickly in the morning. All credit to Stephen Fleming. It took him 2 hours to get to 15, 4.5 hours nearly in total for that unbeaten 52. Down the list, not a great deal of support for him. He fought hard, and the others will have learnt from that effort from their captain. The England bowlers, 2 for Caddick. He was outstanding. 28 overs, 2 for 36. Support there from Mullally. Wayward at times, but he picked up 2 key wickets. A wicket for Ed Giddings, 2 for Philip Tufnell, and 1-2 for Ronnie Irani. Quite interesting to look at that fall of wickets table. Just 1 in the morning session, and that clutch of wickets throughout the afternoon. That was when England really had their tails up. There was a team huddle when they came out after lunch. Whatever advice they had from the captain, Nasser Hussain, it worked mighty well. And then the 2 wickets after tea. Well, I've got Ronnie Irani. Sri Lanka 3